This video is not a video geared negatively towards Russia. It is aimed towards the people who want to come to Russia or are already here under suspicious reasons or negative reasons. Now, these are my opinions after living here for almost 4 years as an immigrant. Hello and welcome. My name is Dan Casso. I've made this style of video in the past, but now I'm gonna just let loose a little bit more and tell you the ones that really bother me. Okay, these things are the things that I truly believe shouldn't even exist anywhere in the world, but I definitely don't want them existing here in Russia, and I don't want you to come to Russia if you fall under this umbrella of things that I'm going to mention. If you're the type of person who thinks that you're a savior because you're from the West or what people consider the West, don't come to Russia. You're not here to save anyone, whether you're a male or a female, but it usually happens with males more than females. They come to Russia, they think that they're the savior of every woman, and they just act a certain way that's really annoying. A lot of people leave comments in other videos, and I read those. I don't make that type of content. I know other channels who sexualize the Russian woman, and you'll see nasty little comments on those videos. And so if you're that type of person who leaves comments sexualizing Russian women, do not come. If you think you're a savior of the Russian civilization because you're coming from Germany or England or the United States or anywhere across the Atlantic or on Western Europe, just don't come. Now, unfortunately, because I've made content for so long, I have met in person PDF files. Nasty American guys who are in their 50s or 60s, even up to their 70s, who ask me to find them 18-year-old girls who have admitted to me having groomed young Russians online and then coming to visit them. This is the nastiest thing that I've encountered, and do not come to Russia if this is the type of person you are. I don't want to hear any more of this type of thing, and I don't even think other content creators who make videos from Russia bring this up. You guys make videos and sexualizing the Russian women, and you kind of feed these type of people, okay? It's very unfortunate that there's even some people who have come under these circumstances and have stayed in this city of Irkutsk where I live, and I'm trying to stay away from these type of people. These are nasty people. The less people that we have of these kinds, the better, okay? These PDF files will meet someone online and groom them, and again, act like they're the saviors, come here and act all nasty. I don't support this, and I'm pretty sure this is going to offend some of you, but this is my number one thing that I absolutely despise about the YouTube world and the content creators, is that we kind of feed, knowingly and unknowingly, because some content creators do it on purpose, but they sexualize the women, and then you have these type of nasty tourists or immigrants who want to come to Russia. But if you're that type of person, please don't come. This next one is geared mostly towards the American audience because they know something called the American dream. Do not come to Russia thinking that there's an American dream in Russia. Okay, there's the Russian promise, the promise that if you work hard and you play by the rules, you can have things here. A lot of people complain about, oh, the rules are so difficult in Russia, the bureaucracy, all these other things. Well, the Russian promise is that if you follow the rules and you work hard, you could have things. Behind me is the family plot. This is where we're going to build a house in the future. And as you guys know, we bought even an apartment this year, and we just feel on top of the world. And we did all of that because we followed the rules. My wife is Russian. I'm a Mexican American, but that's just how it is. There is no American dream here. There is the Russian promise. And I'm sick and tired of people from the United States or some Europeans who know about this saying, oh, the Russian dream is in Russia. The American dream is in Russia. No, they need to stop this. Okay, the American dream was something that existed in the United States, but that's never existed in Russia. Russia has always just promised its people that if you follow the rules, you work hard, you can have something and be a good person. If you're a kind of person who believes in the American dream, don't come here, okay, because that doesn't exist here. Now, I know that I am no one to prevent people from coming, and I know some of you guys are already offended by the things that I've said, but I know for a fact that those people who come to Russia talking about the American dream end up disappointed because you have the wrong perspective of what life is really like in Russia. And those PDF files and those wannabe saviors, they come and they realize that the women here and society here doesn't actually need them, and they end up disappointed. But the things that I'm saying are valid. These are things that I've actually curated, and I'm saying them again because they need to be said, and not enough people are mentioning this on any page. And I'm that guy who does this. Something that I have said in the past, but probably not as clear as I'm going to say it now, is do not come to Russia if you're running away from something. Okay? I feel like a lot of people who have come to Russia, they make documentaries about them. Like Russian channels will interview people and they will ask them like, why did you leave your country? And they say, well, I ran away from this reason, X reason, X reason, X reason. I think that you shouldn't come to Russia if you're running away from something. I think Russia should be attractive enough that you should be running towards something. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Comment below if you understand what I'm trying to say. By the way, we're taking a small break to take a look at that beautiful moon. In real life, it looks absolutely incredible. That is my neighbor's baña, and that is my corn that I left there because it looks beautiful in the snow, which brings us to the next point. Now this one is very obvious. If you want to come to Russia but you don't like snow, don't come to Russia in winter. Okay, ask the French how it went for them. Ask the Nazi Germans. The winters here are pretty brutal, and do not come if you don't like this. My entire plot is filled with snow, and this is December. We've been in this for a while. Obviously, not everywhere you go in Russia is filled with snow, but the majority of it will have snow. If you don't like snow, don't come to Russia. This is probably the friendliest thing that I'm going to say on the channel for this video, but it is what it is. If you don't like this, don't come, at least in winter. All right, well, the things that I've been mentioning, some of those are for the people who want to come as immigrants, and some of these are for the people who want to come as tourists. Some of them apply to both, okay? I hope that's obvious. And obviously, I'm saying immigrants and not expats because this word doesn't exist in Russia. If you're a person who wants to live in Russia, you're an immigrant, all right? Now, moving on to the next point. If you are the type of person who hates their motherland, and I'm not talking about Russia, if you're coming from somewhere else and you absolutely despise your country and you have malicious thoughts about your country and you are just a rotten person who is traitor levels to your motherland, don't come to Russia. Because if you have a treacherous mind, you will bring that to Russia. If something happens wrong in Russia, you're going to have the same attitude you had towards the original country that you came from. This kind of ties to the previous thing where I said, don't come to Russia if you're running away from something. Look, if you're a traitor, if you're a malicious person towards your motherland, you will be a traitor and a malicious person towards Russia, because these are just these tendencies that you're going to bring over. These are the habits that you have. Don't come to Russia again if this is the type of person you are. Once a traitor, always a traitor. I hope that makes sense. Again, let me know down in the comment section if what I'm saying is making any sense to you, or if you have any questions you want me to clarify, also leave them down in the comments section. The truth is, a lot of people are scared to say these things. Even the Russians or the immigrants who make videos on YouTube, they're scared to say this type of stuff because they think it looks like a negative thing, scaring people from coming to Russia. But I think it's a necessary thing. If I'm going to be living here for the rest of my life, if my son, who was already born 3 months ago, is going to be raised in Russia, I'd rather him not be raised next to traitors, PDF files, or just people who believe in fake things like the American dream in Russia, okay? I'm trying to prevent these type of people from coming because I don't want a future for my child or myself or my wife where we are surrounded by lunacy. And I brought you to my favorite place here next to Lake Baikal. I showed you the moon. Look how beautiful that is. To tell you the last reason why you shouldn't come, if you're gonna come here just to have a family and then abandon it, don't come. Okay, these women are not here to raise your children alone, and this is something that I've learned now, how important it is for for a father to be in the kid's life. I know a couple of stories where men have come and had a child and then just abandoned them. Don't come if this is the type of man you are. This is something that really, really bothers me, and I had to say it because I know a lot of people out there have find it easy to go somewhere and then just escape, right? If you come here on a tourist visa, plan to be with someone, have a child, and then it just makes it easy for you to leave. Don't do that. Don't come if that's you. Here's a better view of the lake. Everything is starting to freeze over. And I'll take this time to show you our famous lakeside with these frozen petrified woods, with the lake splashing on the trees, on the banks, on the shores. You get this interesting nature art. Last but not least, and perhaps the most important one, if you are basing everything that you've thought of about Russia through these videos, and you finally thought to yourself, hey, I want to live there, don't come. Because, you know, our experiences are invalid. In reality, what you see on this website, this is our interpretation of what life in Russia is like. Again, I told you from the beginning, this is only what I think. When you guys come, you can have your own opinions. I don't think that influencers, content creators should make you come or not come. The reality is you should have your own opinions, right? So in a way, this is a video that's almost like a paradox, because what I said doesn't really matter, but it really does matter. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying your New Year's. If you haven't seen any of these videos that are popping up on the screen, give them a chance. Maybe go watch that as well. And I'll see you on the next video where I'll be camping, finally going outside again this winter.